There are few, if any, reminders of a dark chapter in Seattle history when HIV and AIDS ravaged so many lives.
I lost many of my friends during those first years. I lost my first partner who died of AIDS. There are significant stories to tell about our family and our friends and our community.
Tom Rasmussen, a former city council member, is one of the volunteers working to build a memorial to the victims and heroes of the AIDS epidemic. The memorial pathway will wind through a corner of Cal Anderson Park near the light rail station, where a new development will soon rise.
This is supposed to be a living memorial, so people are going to be telling stories. Those stories will be recorded. People will be able to access those stories either online or through augmented reality.
Visitors could hold up a smartphone or tablet and see stories projected onto various sections of the memorial. That's one idea. Project organizers are conducting a nationwide search for designs. Seattle and King County were leaders early in the epidemic, recognizing it and taking action long before other government agencies. But there's no physical space to reflect on that era. San Francisco has the National AIDS Memorial Grove. Indianapolis dedicated its memorial 18 years ago, and New York City opened one in 2016. Seattle hopes to complete its memorial in 2020, and they want it to serve as a reminder that although significant progress has been made, AIDS is still a threat, and there are important lessons from the past.
We call this a pathway because this is an ongoing story. It is not over.
This $2.5 million project is funded by private donations and public money. The city of Seattle is helping pay for it. Artists have until the end of the month to submit their designs, and then the memorial organizers will select an idea for what they think it should look like.